Loki, 1893. I think this one's entitled. Season 2, man. Let's get into it straight away. I don't want to be here for too long. Another brilliant episode. I would say this episode is better than the last one. The last one had a slight decline for me, but it was only natural because the first one started off with such a bang and felt like a movie entirely on its own. But this was really good. So we find Loki, Mobius, 1893, on the quest to find Victor Timely. Well, on the quest to find Miss Minutes, in fact, to bring her back to the TVA because she's the only one who can help them. Or the creator of the TVA himself, Victor Timely, who is in this timescale as well. And I really like what they did with this character. I'm so happy that all the outside influences with Jonathan Majors is sorted enough for Disney to use him because he's so great. I don't want to say he's one of the great actors of our time just yet because I haven't witnessed him in enough. But from what I've seen of him, he really can convey all these different characters, and I think being Kang gives him the opportunity to play so many different characters in one. And we've already seen 3 iterations of him, if you will. I think we should prune the Ant-Man one from the timeline, though, not because it was rubbish, just because the movie was good, but the Kangs were a bit weird in it. So let's forget that ever happened. It's time we can do that. We find out loads of different things in this because obviously this episode actually starts off with Ravonna landing in this time scale, 25 years before, dropping off a TVA guide through the window of young Victor Timely, which obviously inspires him to go and make the TVA in the future and all this stuff. Then they meet him at that time period as well, and there's this real thing of Ravonna trying to almost speed up the process of becoming a couple with him. Now, we don't know if they're actually a couple, but we know that from the videotape, from the audio tape that we heard Loki, it sounded like they were in a couple already. In this one, you find there's some weird stuff that I'm not going to reveal too much of, but Miss Minutes really stole the show in this episode. And as an AI who damn near feels like she was falling in love with Victor Timely throughout this episode was creepy and dope at the same time because Marvel never really do anything like that. It was almost another iteration of flipping Ultron in a different way. You do find out that, it's a bit to double cross him towards a certain part of it. We get the complexities of all the different characters all wanting Victor Timely in some kind of capacity. So Ravonna, she wants to bring him back to the TVA, but to rule together and be the powers that be together. But I reckon there's a secret there that what Miss Minutes will reveal to her at some point, that they were a couple in the past. I don't think she knows at this current time. And you got obviously Mobius and Loki trying to bring him back to save the TVA, not to rule. And then you have Sylvie who pops up, who wants to get rid of him. She wants to kill him. She's killed one variant already. And for her, the easiest thing to do is just get rid of him, and that way it's fine. But obviously get rid of him means everyone dies, so it's very weird. I love the scenery of this episode. Obviously it's based in a certain time, and what they did with the scenery was great. The wardrobe pieces that they used, the audio design was good as well. It went a bit too far sometimes, it went a bit over the top, it was quite loud, and it was not far off turning it into a skit in certain parts, which I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to convey what it would have been like to watch the TV back in 1893 or whatever. But the only problem with that is, even though we went back to 1893, the characters are not from 1893 apart from Victor Timely. So only he should really be conveying that, and everyone else should be just living life. So that, I don't want to complain about it too much. It's just that it could have turned into one of those shows. It didn't. There was a dark part in this where Sylvie sends Ravonna back to the end of time. But obviously, the Kang what's there is dead, and he's still there on the chair, decomposing. Very strange, very dark for Disney. I love it. I think it's dope. It's enough to please certain people who want certain things, and then for the kids watching, not scare them too much, but had a little bit of darkness. So I'm here for it still. Be interested to see what happens next, because Ravonna ended up in that space from Sylvie kicking her there, basically saying, "No, be careful what you wish for. If you want to be with this guy, be with him." And then obviously Miss Minutes reveals that, it's crazy to do that to us when there's a dark secret that I know all of his secrets, and I think the secret is she's going to tell Ravonna that he's been wiping everyone's mind, and you were ahead of the table with him at some point. So be interested to see what happens next episode. I can't wait already. So that's the episode that grasped me. I'm sorry if the reviews all over the place, but I really struggle between giving spoilers and giving a proper review at the same time. But I guess with a TV program, you're probably not gonna watch the review and not watch the episode. You're probably gonna watch the episode and then come back and watch the review. Whereas in a movie, it's a little bit different. I wouldn't just spoil it out of nowhere. So anyway. Look forward to the next episode, and hopefully you guys can join me. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of this episode as well. We can chop it up. I've been your boy, subscribe, comment, like, subscribe, and share. Run.